The Bold and the Beautiful, scoop for Thursday, October 30th, reveals Taylor Hayes will try a more professional approach with Deacon Sharp. Also coming up, Sheila Carter will vent to Lee Finnegan. Plus, Carter Walton and Daphne Rose will react to Hope Logan's news. B&B spoilers tease Hope will tell Daphne and Carter that she and Liam Spencer are engaged. Of course, Daphne will look over at Carter to see the look on his face. After all, he and Hope just ended their engagement only a few days ago. No doubt, Carter will congratulate Hope on her good news. But when he and Daphne are alone, the perfumer will ask him how he really feels about it. "You want to know the truth?" he'll reply. "I'm happy for her." Meanwhile, Lee will pop by Il Giardino to see how Sheila is doing. The doctor knows Sheila is desperately worried that her marriage to Deacon could be over. She even suggested that if anything happened between Taylor and her husband, she'd kill her. So when Lee inquires about Sheila's state of mind, she'll get an earful. "What happens if she says something to Deacon to turn him against me?" Sheila will ask her new friend. But how will Lee respond? Finally, even though Taylor seems smitten with Deacon, she'll realize she crossed an ethical boundary. She's his therapist, and what happened between them shouldn't have occurred. So when Deacon shows up at her office on Thursday, he'll want to discuss it. "It didn't come out of nowhere. It was pretty amazing," he'll say to Taylor. However, Taylor will feel differently. "It can't happen again," she'll reply. But what did happen between Taylor and Deacon? Stay tuned. Hey B&B fans, are you enjoying the latest CBS Sudser Beyond the Gates? Then make sure you join our free Facebook group. Keep reading the Soap Scoop, your source for the latest soap opera spoilers and B&B spoilers and news. And make sure to also join our B&B Facebook group. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Bold and the Beautiful online at cbs.com. On The Bold and the Beautiful, Liam and Hope are living in a cabin. Can they please get their own home? A one-bedroom cottage isn't going to cut it, say the fans. Fans and viewers of The Bold and the Beautiful are not fans of the current living conditions of Liam and Hope. If they decided to grow their family a little more, then they really will be packed in there like sardines. The Soap Central message boards were lively with the discussion. Board user Terrelier wrote, "This time around, I think it's important that Hope, Liam, and Beth finally get their own home. I'm sure they'll be pregnant soon, so that one-bedroom cottage isn't going to work. They need a proper bedroom. I know Douglas isn't living with them now, but Beth shouldn't share a bedroom with Douglas if he comes to visit. Most importantly, they are grown-ups and in their 30s with kids. This living in a cabin is ridiculous." Board member Boldfan Forever said, "I don't think Hope remembers Douglas. But seriously, yes, they need their own space. Sadly, I don't think the new studios have space for a new Lope abode. I'm sure there is plenty of space at the main mansion, as it's only Brooke and Ridge that live there, I believe," Tara Lee replied with, "The new studio is twice the size of the old one. The old one was like 30,000 escufant. There is plenty of room for new sets. Deacon and Sheila got a remodel, and it's much larger. Steffi and Finn's house has more depth. Bill's mansion has been redone, and so has his office. FC enlarged the design office and the showroom, and Eric's office is back. Heck, they could live at Bill's Malibu house now that summer art school is over." Senior board members and Stella added, "Liam should surprise Hope by buying a beautiful new home for their next try at adulting. Something fun, with a loft or treehouse for the kids to play in, a pool, and how about a huge patio so they could have a summer cookout with all the relatives present? Anything opulent and impressive, fitting their salaries and lifestyle." Spoilers show that Carter and Daphne react to Hope's engagement, and that's bound to be a good one to watch. There are still 3 more soapy drama-filled days remaining in this week. Stay tuned, soap fans. Here are your The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for Wednesday, October 29th, 2025. On Tuesday's all-new episode, Hope and Liam shared their engagement with Brooke, while Sheila continued to stew about the state of her marriage to Deacon. It appears that in Los Angeles, when one marriage seemingly comes to an end, another one has risen from the ashes, giving young lovers a second chance at happily ever after. Before Brooke, Katie was the only person other than Beth who was aware of the good news, but on Wednesday's episode, that looks to change. Liam gives Bill the good news about his impending nuptials to Hope, which couldn't come at a better time for the Spencer family. Lately, the Spencer family has been dealing with blow after blow, mostly related to the fallout from Luna's unhinged behavior. Earlier this year, she saw Liam, and now she's pregnant with Will's baby after sexually assaulting him. Although if Liam had never shot, it's possible he wouldn't have the newfound clarity that led him back to Hope. Regardless, this is welcome news for a family facing a great deal of uncertainty. Several months ago, Bill and Liam were at odds to the point that Liam was ready to walk away from not only the family company, but also remove himself from his father's life. It's a testament to how much they've been through that Liam is elated to share the news of his and Hope's reconciliation with his father. However, it's also a sign that Bill continues to get let off easily, considering that, if not for him, Luna wouldn't have had the means and opportunity to commit any of her heinous atrocities. Although Hope is happier than she has been in quite some time, a dark cloud still looms over her life, as her father, Deacon, is deeply entrenched in marital despair. Since learning of Sheila's betrayal, Deacon's been on the fence about how to proceed in his marriage. His therapy sessions with Taylor have become a murky mix of helpful tools and blurred ethical lines, but he's adamant that she's the best person for the job. On Wednesday's episode, Hope and Deke talked to Deacon about Sheila, something they've done on numerous occasions. Deacon told Taylor about the pressure he faced from everyone in his life to dispose of Sheila and move on with his life, but he wanted to make his own decisions. Unfortunately for Deacon, any requests for time and space to choose his own future are being ignored. Hope is moving on with Liam after ending her engagement to Carter, and Deke is seemingly happy with Remy, so it's natural they want the best for their father. Although Deacon's children only want the best for their father, he is still deeply conflicted about his feelings for Sheila, and applying too much pressure could send their father directly into his arms. If he and Taylor continue to blur the lines between professionalism and inappropriate contact, their sessions may quickly come to an end. Sheila is willing to do whatever it takes to fix things in her marriage, so Deke and Hope are walking a fine line. If they don't take a step back and let Deacon make his own decisions, Sheila will swoop in and take advantage of any opening to use his state of conflict against him. The bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal that Remy Price will visit Luna Nozawa in prison and get a Will Spencer warning. Now that Luna is stuck behind bars, she's alone and could really use a friend. Likewise, Remy doesn't exactly have a long line of people waiting to be his buddy. Deke Sharp would be furious if he knew Remy was sneaking behind his back to see Luna, but it's not like Remy has anyone else to talk to about his problems. Since Remy's nervous about Deke's upcoming boyfriend reveal, he'll decide to open up to Luna about the situation. Deke will want to bring Remy to Forrester Creations and introduce him around, but Remy will realize his past mistakes could come back to haunt him. Despite Remy's concerns, he'll apparently hold out hope that maybe Electra Forrester can forgive him and convince the others at Forrester to do the same. Luna will feel like that's wishful thinking, but Remy will argue that she doesn't know what his former relationship with Electra was like. Electra used to consider Remy a close pal that she could rely on, at least until he was exposed as a disturbing stalker who created deepfake content and blew up her life. Nevertheless, Remy may hope that Electra will remember their previous bond now that he's trying to turn his life around. Of course, Remy isn't doing a very good job of that since he's keeping secrets from Deke and going against his wishes to visit criminal Luna. That said, it seems Remy will try to believe it'll all work out. Luna, on the other hand, will warn Remy that he's walking straight into the lion's den, especially if Will's going to be there. Remy will get a rather vengeful look in his eyes and insist he's not afraid of Will, so his sinister side could come back out to play at some point. Will previously saved Electra from Remy following a dramatic chase, so he stepped up as her hero. Naturally, Luna may worry about Remy stirring up trouble and giving Will another chance to be Electra's knight in shining armor. The last thing Luna wants is for Remy to bring Electra and Will closer, so she may deliver a warning about that too. Regardless, Remy will go against Luna's advice and indeed walk into the lion's den in B&B's October 31st episode. It'll be a horrific Halloween for Remy, since Electra's going to flip out and give Deke updates on some disturbing news about his beau. The Bold and the Beautiful, spoilers say Ivy Forrester, Daphne Rose, and Hope Logan will also be present for the disaster that's about to unfold, so stay tuned. The Bold and the Beautiful, spoilers for the week of November 3 to 7, hint that Steffi Forrester will have a matchmaker plot in mind while Will Spencer makes an enraging discovery. For starters, Deacon Sharp won't be able to get Taylor Hayes off his mind, but she'll be adamant that they have to ignore their connection. Even if Deacon reunites with Sheila Sharp, he's found a spark with Taylor that could stir up more temptation sooner or later. Deacon could put Taylor in danger if he can't shake these feelings for her. It could put a target on Taylor's back, no matter how much Sheila wants to pretend she's changed and that she didn't mean that fatal threat. Taylor's feelings for Deacon could be a problem as well, but she'll keep trying to convince Steffi that she's doing fine on her own. Steffi will feel like her mom's lonely and will want to play matchmaker, but she may eventually realize something's brewing between Taylor and Deacon. That's the kind of thing that could leave Steffi nervous about Sheila's reaction, so she might sound the alarm. B&B fans will also see the fallout of Remy Price's upcoming appearance in the Forrester showroom. Despite Deke Sharp's desire to show off his boyfriend and get a warm welcome for him, he'll face some terrible revelations about Remy instead. After Electra Forrester slams Remy for being a creepy stalker who created deepfake photos more than once, Deke will have to decide what the future holds. It's tough to imagine Deke will be able to just forgive and forget, especially now that he's become friends with Electra. This isn't Remy's first offense, since Deke doesn't approve of his Luna Nozawa link either. If Deke dumps Remy, then they'll both deal with some heartbreak during the week of November 3 to 7. Remy will beg Deke for another chance, but Deke may not be willing to give him one, at least not yet. The story could shift down the road, but Deke may sulk for now and wonder how he could have been so wrong about the kind of person Remy was. Remy will maintain that he's changed, but Deke may not be so sure about that. Of course, Remy may be put to the test when it comes to how he handles this breakup. Will Remy prove he's not the same monster he used to be, or find himself back on a terrible path? Regardless, Will's going to be livid when he discovers Remy thought it was okay to just show up at Forrester and blindside Electra along with Deke. Once Will discovers that shocker, he may confront Remy and put him in his place. Finally, Hope Logan and Liam Spencer will look forward to their nuptials, while Carter Walton grows closer to Daphne Rose and proves he's truly moving on. The Bold and the Beautiful, spoilers say someone from Daphne's past could stir up some drama soon, so stay tuned for updates on any bad news that might be brewing. The Bold and the Beautiful, spoilers hint that Sheila Sharp may target Taylor Hayes' heart and cause a medical crisis for Deacon Sharp's new love interest. Sheila already vowed to kill Taylor if anything inappropriate happened between Deacon and the good doc. It's clear that when it comes to Deacon and Taylor's risky connection, Sheila isn't messing around. The fact that Taylor's getting so close to Deacon could lead to Sheila's revenge and elimination plot. Although Taylor will try to regain control of the situation in the coming episodes, that doesn't mean she'll be able to resist temptation indefinitely. Likewise, B&B spoilers say Deacon will spend Thanksgiving with Sheila, but that doesn't mean their future is secure. Taylor and Deacon could still find themselves drawn together, so Sheila could attempt to get Taylor out of the way sooner or later. Of course, Sheila doesn't want to go back to prison and will have to be careful about her upcoming choices as a result. Perhaps Sheila could get sneaky about her plan to wipe Taylor off the map. Sheila might find some untraceable drug or poison that could stir up some heart problems for Taylor. Before Taylor was diagnosed with broken heart syndrome, she was told she was suffering from heart failure. If Sheila finds a way to secretly target Taylor's heart, then maybe Taylor and her loved ones would simply think she was misdiagnosed again. Sheila could spark a medical crisis and attempt to keep her hands clean in the process. Since Ridge Forrester came running to Taylor's rescue the last time she was dealing with heart issues, Sheila might hope the same thing will happen this time around. Sheila would much rather see Ridge shift his focus from Brooke Logan Forrester back to his former flame than watch Deacon dote on Taylor instead. Whatever the case, Sheila may have to get creative if she follows through with the threat she made against Taylor. Although Sheila may not succeed in getting rid of Taylor permanently, she could still cause plenty of drama. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say Sheila may make some updates to her plans along the way, but bad news could be brewing for Taylor no matter how it all goes down. The Bold and the Beautiful recap for Tuesday, October 28th, reveals that Taylor Hayes trashed Brooke Logan Forrester to Deacon Sharp, while Sheila Sharp shut down Lee Finnegan's fear about her fatal intentions. At Brooke's place, Beth Spencer gushed over her parents being back together and declared this the best day ever, so Liam Spencer and Hope Logan continued celebrating with her. Beth couldn't wait to tell Kelly Spencer and all her friends, but Hope and Liam asked her to let them spread the engagement news to the family first. Although Beth was fine with that, she urged Liam and Hope to hurry since she was terrible at keeping secrets. At Forrester Creations, Brooke heard from Hope and got summoned home for some updates. In the meantime, Katie Logan and Donna Logan had a little celebration of their own regarding Hope's bright future with Liam. Brooke made it back to her house and saw Hope's ring, so she was delighted over Liam and Hope's engagement. Hugs were exchanged all around as Hope and Liam enjoyed this new beginning. At Sheila's apartment, Lee pushed her to confirm that she was just blowing off steam and didn't mean it when she threatened Taylor's life. Sheila lashed out and insisted she wasn't that person anymore. Now Sheila just needed Taylor to advocate for her marriage during Deacon's therapy sessions and get them back on track. As Lee left on Tuesday's B&B episode, the doc told Sheila that Taylor wasn't her enemy and didn't think she should worry about her. Afterward, Sheila sent Deacon a text and let him know that she loved him so much. After Sheila texted Deacon to come home so they could work through this together, she wondered aloud where he was. In Taylor's office, she tried to regain some sense of professionalism, but Deacon played up their connection and trust. Deacon consoled Taylor, who cried over how Brooke jiggled and giggled her way into any man's heart, especially Ridge Forrester's. Taylor basically whined about Ridge not seeing Brooke's manipulation and fell into Deacon's comforting embrace. Deacon wiped away Taylor's tears as he hovered near her face and came dangerously close to kissing her. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say Deacon, Taylor, and Sheila all have more drama ahead of them, so stay tuned for any love triangle fiascos that might be brewing. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers reveal that Thomas Forrester will return to Los Angeles now that Matthew Atkinson is back on set for new scenes that'll air down the road. On Instagram, Casey Kasprisk, who was recently promoted from supervising producer to an executive producer position alongside Bradley Bell, shared a behind-the-scenes pic of himself smiling with Matthew Atkinson. "Hello! Nice to have @J-Met Atkinson on set this week," Kaspchik said before adding an emoji to indicate Atkinson was back for filming. The last time fans saw Thomas, he made a quick trip to LA and offered updates on his split from Paris Buckingham. Thomas was also around to get the news about Brooke Logan Forrester remarrying Ridge Forrester, which brought a major outburst. Although Thomas initially blamed Brooke for burning down all his reunited family dreams, he later softened toward her. Brooke and Thomas miraculously hugged it out, but that doesn't mean he's forgotten about Taylor Hayes' heartbreak. Perhaps that could be part of the reason why Thomas is on the verge of making another LA appearance. Thomas may want to check on Taylor and spend some time with Steffi Forrester, along with the kids. According to early Thanksgiving spoilers, an unexpected guest will pop up at Taylor, Steffi, John Finnegan, Kelly Spencer, and Hayes Finnegan's Turkey Day gathering. Depending on B&B's schedule for filming these specific Thanksgiving scenes, it's possible Thomas will be the surprise arrival. Thomas may join the family fun and have a chance to take part in the upcoming holiday festivities. Of course, Thomas may also weigh in on some recent plot developments while he's in town. Like the latest Luna Nozawa chaos, Hope Logan's revived fashion line, and her new engagement to Liam Spencer. Whatever the case, The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say Matthew Atkinson's next comeback as Thomas Forrester is in the works, so don't miss what's ahead on the CBS soap. At Spencer Publications, Bill congratulates Liam on his latest engagement, and Will chuckles as their dad teases his brother about finally catching a break. Bill's excited for his next chapter, and that he even has one, but oddly, they don't discuss the elephant in the room, Luna. Talk turns to Spencer and Bill stuns Liam by telling him this place should become more a reflection of him than his style. A female staff member comes in, and Bill chastises her for not closing the Harlan deal yet, but then shocks everyone by announcing, "Don't worry about it, it's chill." Liam and Will watch with interest as Bill tells the woman, Cassie, not to stress about it, and gives her some time off. They applaud after Cassie exits. Bill makes a speech about what happened to Liam, making him realize some things are more important than money. They embrace. At Il Giardino, Deacon and Deke hug Hope, who has just told them about the engagement. Hope remarks that fresh starts can happen and changes the subject to her father's love life. She asks Deacon if he's thought about what life might look like without Sheila. Ironically, Deke hopes Taylor will make Deacon see he has options. The restaurateur asks his kids to stop, but they persist, asking if he might move on with someone else. Deacon warns Sheila's still his wife, and he loves her. Deke and Hope remind their father that she lied to him. They're keen for Taylor to guide him. At the Cliff House, Steffi guesses that her mother is reflecting on what to do for one of her patients. Taylor adopts a guilty expression. Steffi admits she's worried about her mother, who only has her grandchildren, and work now that Ridge has moved on. "What's next for you, Mom?" Taylor deflects, but Steffi protests. "I don't want you to be alone." Taylor's not keen to get back on the Ridge go-round, but doesn't think she'll be alone forever. Steffi squints. "Mom, are you open to a new relationship?" Hope and Liam convene in the design office at Forrester to compare notes on their father's positive reactions to their news. They hope the wedding will be an uplifting occasion for all. Hope has her fingers crossed that they won't have to include Sheila. Maybe he'll have a stable wedding date, with more toes. At Il Giardino, Deacon thinks about calling Taylor, but decides to text her. "When can I see you again?" At the Cliff House, Steffi has a feeling someone will come into Taylor's life. She urges her mom, if it happens, to go for it and take the risk. Taylor's phone rings. It's Deacon. He just texted her, but wanted to hear her voice again. He can't stop thinking about her and wants to see her again. She tells him to meet her in her office. Deacon flashes to the close moment they shared the day before. The bold and the beautiful, viewers know him as Remy. But this Halloween, his portrayer, Christian Weissman, has not only dressed up as Patrick Bateman from Christian Bale's American Psycho, he's also hip to be square. Why does that phrase sound familiar, you ask? Well, it's from Huey Lewis's 1986 hit that was featured in a scene from the 2000 movie, and Weissman did a bang-up job reenacting it in a recent Instagram story. And for those who didn't catch the horror flick, take a look in the video below to see just what had the daytime star ranting. Most people don't listen to the lyrics, but they should, because it's not just about the pleasures of conformity and the importance of trends. It's also a personal statement about the band itself. And speaking of Remy, come the end of the week, he's going to have a whole lot of explaining to do when a bit of his psycho side is exposed. Deke will soon realize why his boyfriend didn't want him to mention his name to his family and friends. But when he's faced with the inevitable, meeting the gang, he isn't going to be the only one shocked to learn Remy stalked Elektra online. Yep, Deke, your man was the same one who released the nude pics of her, but we can bet Elektra is going to go into full psycho mode as well. The Bold and the Beautiful's must-watch moments for Thursday, October 30th, include Taylor trying to take a clinical approach with Deacon as Sheila reaches out. Plus, Carter finds out Hope is engaged and Daphne is by his side. Sheila learned that Lee had secretly saved Luna, letting the world believe she'd died. Rather than confess, Sheila covered up the truth to protect herself and kept Deacon in the dark. When Deacon ultimately uncovered the deception, it rocked him. His faith in their marriage took a hit, and he wasn't sure if he could forgive her. Searching for clarity, he turned to Taylor for guidance. She tried to keep her distance, but eventually allowed Deacon to share just how much Sheila's lies had wounded him. Sheila later caught sight of them together and admitted Deacon had been meeting with Taylor for counseling. Meanwhile, Hope and Carter briefly got engaged after stepping in at Forrester Creations when Steffi shut down Hope for the future. But their romance fizzled out fast. After Liam survived getting shot and a terrifying health scare that turned out to be staged, he and Hope drifted back toward each other. Their chemistry rekindled, and when Liam proposed again, Hope said yes. They shared their engagement with Brooke, Katie, and Donna. Liam also told Bill his good news. Carter is once again alone. However, Daphne is back in Los Angeles, and they seem to have reconnected. Is Will ready to be part of his child's life? Will's life is about to change in a big way on The Bold and the Beautiful. The youngest Spencer is about to become a father thanks to Luna. With the bundle of joy due in a few months, one must wonder if Will is going to step up to the plate. Luna has made a mess of Will's life. After getting him drunk and taking advantage of him, Luna is now pregnant with his baby. Her dream of becoming a family with Will and their baby was shattered when she was sent back to prison. Will can rest easier knowing Luna's behind bars, yet his problems aren't over. There's still the matter of what happens to baby Spencer. Will's parents, Bill and Katie, are already planning to take custody of the baby. However, Will hasn't said anything about his plans. Fans on Reddit are speculating whether Will wants any part in his child's life. Will hasn't shown any emotion as to whether or not he wants to have or will be taking custody of said baby. For the most part, he seems kinda removed, the original poster wrote. No one has bothered to ask Will what he wants. Luna delusionally thinks the baby will make Will fall in love with her, and Bill and Katie think they will get custody, but no one has asked Will what he even wants. He may want to give the baby up for adoption, suggested one fan. This is the problem with this story for Will. Bill and Katie have pretty much taken over and is doing so much damage control that it undermines what Will wants to do. The only thing he made a choice in doing is staying with Electra and telling her the truth, something that his mother was against, one viewer replied. Bill and Katie think they have a slam dunk win in the custody case, but if someone else such as Poppy were to sue for custody, things will turn ugly. While the grandparents fight over the baby, the decision about baby Spencer's future lies in Will's hands. It's up to him to choose what he wants to do for his son or daughter. One option is adoption, although if Will were to do that, it would upset Luna and his parents. Although Will seems uninterested in parenthood, he did rush to the prison after learning Luna had been beaten. Will might end up forming a bond with his unborn baby and decide he wants to be a father. However, Will's new role as father might cause complications for him and Electra. Will Lee rescue Taylor from Sheila? Taylor's life may be in danger on The Bold and the Beautiful. With Taylor coming between Deacon and Sheila's marriage, it has reignited Sheila's anger. Fans are concerned about Taylor's safety, but there's one person who might be able to help her. Lee always finds herself mixed up in drama. This time, she's a key player in the Sheila E., Deacon, and Taylor triangle. Taylor and Deacon have become closer during his therapy sessions, leading to jealousy and concern from Sheila. During a recent conversation with Lee, Sheila expressed her worry that Deacon would cheat. Lee tried to ease Sheila's fears, but Lee was alarmed when Sheila threatened to kill Taylor if anything happened with Deacon. Now that Lee's heard Sheila's threat, the question is what she'll do. On a soap opera message board, B&B fans discussed whether Lee should warn Taylor. Since Lee and Sheila have become the weirdest BFFs, will she warn Taylor or keep her BFF's threat against Taylor to herself? Asked one user. If Lee is afraid to warn Taylor directly, she should at least tell Sin. If she doesn't, she's going to look like she's on Sheila's side about that, one fan replied. Lee is aware of this direct threat made by Sheila towards Taylor, and Lee has a moral, if not legal obligation to tell authorities, one viewer wrote. Dr. Finnegan has found herself in a dilemma regarding the Sheila and Taylor situation. Lee and Taylor are in-laws and friends, but so are Lee and Sheila. The two former enemies formed an alliance while helping Luna recover. Now Lee will have to choose which friend to protect. Lee knows how dangerous Sheila is, so her threat shouldn't be taken lightly. Lee might advise Taylor to tread carefully when it comes to Deacon. However, her advice will fall on deaf ears. With a Taylor and Deacon romance on the horizon, trouble is looming. If Sheila makes good on her threat to do away with the world-renowned psychiatrist, Lee could finally step up. However, Lee's efforts to stop Sheila may prove futile if she becomes a casualty of Miss Carter. Do we need to start worrying about Lee? Lee told Sheila that she still has her position at the hospital, despite snatching Luna's body in an effort to bring her back from the dead. The reaction to this storyline has been mixed. On the Monday, October 27, 2025, episode of The Bold and the Beautiful, Lee told Sheila that she still has her medical license, despite snatching Luna's body. Fans are shocked that she's not facing any repercussions. Over on one soap opera message board, B&B fans are shocked that Lee was allowed to keep her position. She didn't lose her medical license despite breaking the rules. She explained to Sheila that since she had done it to save her granddaughter's life, they hadn't taken away her license. However, this is the second time she's broken the rules to save a relative's life. Some viewers assumed she would receive the same treatment as Dr. Grace Buckingham, who convinced Liam that he was dying from cancer. She conned Liam and Bill out of $1 million to pay off her ex's debts. The original poster noted, "No repercussions from the hospital, the medical board, and most importantly, the law, since she was harboring a fugitive." There could be a good reason behind this. Grace turned herself in to the authorities after her dark secret came out. Meanwhile, Luna is serving time for her crimes. It wouldn't make sense for another character to go to jail. Well, they cannot lock away every character. We would be left with Bridge praising each other all day long, only to be interrupted by everyone praising Lopi, one person joked. Some fans noticed that neither Lee nor Luna takes accountability for their actions. One person wrote, "Lee and Luna don't get in trouble for the illegal things they do," to which one fan responded, "Well, but Luna is actually back in jail for the time being anyway." Luna believes that will help her escape from jail. She traded a punch for her freedom despite being pregnant. One person noted, "All I have to say about this whole storyline is one word, ridiculous." Meanwhile, other viewers noted that every character would end up in prison if that were the case. Bill, Will, Sheila, and Katie knew that Luna was alive and didn't report her to the authorities. Hope takes Liam back for the umpteenth time. But will it stick this time around? In the October 28th episode of The Bold and the Beautiful, Hope accepted Liam's proposal. They soaked in the sweet moment, but decided to share it with someone special. At Brooke's house, Hope and Liam celebrate their engagement. They let the good feelings soak in as they spend time with their daughter. Beth said she couldn't wait to share the news with Kelly and her friends. Hope and Liam suggested that they should tell the rest of the family. Beth wanted them to share the news soon, as she's terrible at keeping secrets. Hope told Liam that it was nice to see their daughter so excited about their engagement. She admitted that she was also excited about it. It took a miracle for them to reunite. Liam loved seeing Hope happy. He wants to spend the rest of his life making her happy. Hope finally told Liam that she loves him, especially now that he's grown and evolved. But they are far from perfect. They both admitted they needed to learn lessons. Then, in a surprising twist, Hope apologized to Liam for taking him and his love for granted. Today is all about the Lope engagement. But let's take a look back at their divorce. Hope ended her marriage to Liam when she realized that she wanted a man who was devoted and committed to her, and only her. At the time, Hope claimed that Liam took her love for granted. As their marriage began to crumble, she started to fantasize about being with Thomas. Then, she kissed him in Rome. Finally, Hope knew what it was like to have a passionate love affair with a man who only had eyes for her. But in today's episode, Hope kept apologizing to Liam. She was sorry it took her so long to realize she wanted to spend her life with him. But she quickly forgot why she dumped him in the first place. Enemies turned uneasy allies? Sheila and Lee's surprising bond could reshape everything in Los Angeles, and their newfound connection might be powerful enough to spark redemption or unleash total chaos. The Bold and the Beautiful may have a new chilling dynamic duo. Since teaming up to rehabilitate Luna, Sheila and Lee have bonded over their shared experience as grandparents. They went from hating each other to having conversations that resemble, dare we say, friendship. Lee and Sheila are an unlikely pair on B&B. Who would have thought the woman who had an affair with her husband and gave him a biological child would become someone the distinguished doctor would be friendly with? However, since things with Luna took a turn, and Sheila learned what Lee did to save her, they spent more time together than ever. Wanting what was best for their grandchild was their priority, but now that she's been revealed to be alive, they are reeling from the consequences. It seems that Lee has gotten away with it, but the same can't be said for Sheila. She may have lost her husband because of her lies, and Deacon using Taylor to walk him through it doesn't look good for the couple. They have built a foundation by sharing an experience, which raises the bar for what they can do moving forward. With Lee's brilliance and Sheila's sneaky ideas combined, the two could be a dynamic duo in Los Angeles. Their banter is already entertaining, with Lee attempting to reason with Sheila, especially after she threatens to kill Taylor if things go awry with Deacon. And that's precisely where things appear to be headed, based on recent B&B episodes. There is plenty to tap into with these two women. One is holier than thou, and another who has lost her marbles several times. Sheila is in the business of revenge and avoiding consequences, while Lee is willing to sacrifice herself for those she loves, like she did for Finn and Luna. Without many female connections that aren't sisterly bonds or aunts with nieces, Lee and Sheila could switch things up and add a bit of flair to the storylines. Something crazy could happen, and they would need to work together to save someone. After all, both are medically trained. Could a possible friendship help them mend bridges with Finn and his family? The Bold and the Beautiful's Liam was really slated to die this year, and Scott Clifton truly expected to be out of a job and looking for work. However, all that changed at the last minute, much to the surprise of the Emmy Award-winning actor. When the Bold and the Beautiful fans learned that Liam was dying from an inoperable brain tumor, it did indeed look like the end of the road for Waffler Jr., a character who spent more than a decade going back and forth between the same two women. In fact, Clifton was sure he was playing a death and dying story, as that is what he had been told. Brad Bell, executive producer, was kind enough to call me into his office and sit me down and have a whole conversation with me about why he was killing Liam off. He told Soap Opera Digest. He was a total prince about it. He was like, "I love working with you and you're an asset to the show, but I figured out what I want to do with Liam." He said that he didn't want to waste Liam, and so it seemed like the best way to honor the character without squandering him was to give him this sort of really poignant send-off. As B&B fans know, Liam did not die and is happily planning yet another wedding with Hope. It turned out that Liam didn't have a tumor after all, a last-minute decision from Bell to give Liam a new lease on life in a dramatic way that also involved a double shooting. After Liam survived a gunshot wound from Luna, Grace Buckingham announced a miracle cure for Liam's tumor, but it wasn't a miracle cure at all. Grace only faked Liam's tumor to bilk Liam's rich dad out of some big bucks to pay off her ex-husband's gambling debts. "I don't know exactly what it was that changed his mind," Clifton told Digest, "but I got a phone call at home from Mr. Bell, and he said, 'You know what? I changed my mind. I'm going to figure out a way to spare Liam. I have this idea, and it has to do with Luna and tying these two different storylines together. I think I'm going to shoot you.'" Needless to say, Clifton was thrilled to learn he wouldn't be out of work. Now, he is playing Liam with a whole new lease on life. He is going to marry Hope again, so are Liam's waffling days finally over? Time will tell. You didn't think that their breakup would be this clean, right? The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers strongly predict that Hope Logan might soon find out that she's pregnant. And no, it won't be with Liam Spencer's baby. Instead, there's a very good chance that she might end up carrying Carter Walton's child. Talk about a plot twist! As many The Bold and the Beautiful fans already know, it looks like Hope is transitioning from being Carter's almost wife to Liam's almost wife instead. But it's not like she hasn't been in this place before, right? And while things might feel like they are different this time around for Hope and Liam, she's going to be hit with a curveball when she finds out that she's going to be pregnant. And while having another baby with Liam would be ideal, the truth is going to sting when she finds out that she's carrying Carter's child instead. But deep down inside, Hope knew that she never really loved Carter. He was just a distraction. That, and he also helped bring her fashion line back to life. So in some ways, she did feel like she owed him something, but that doesn't mean that she should have given him his heart. Of course, being pregnant with Carter's baby is going to derail her relationship with Liam. For once, she was hoping to enjoy true love with the man she's always loved, but it seems like it's never going to happen for her now. And it's all because she's pregnant with another man's baby. Now, as far as what will happen on The Bold and the Beautiful remains to be seen as well. Fans will simply have to tune in each and every day to find out. The Bold and the Beautiful airs weekdays on the CBS network. Check your local listings for times. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers document that Thomas Forrester is teased to return to Los Angeles, California. Atkinson's latest comeback implies a different focus as compared to Thomas's last. Viewers last saw the often volatile character first target Brooke Logan because she and his father reconciled, but Thomas' stay during his most recent reappearance was short. So, his fight with Brooke was quickly resolved. Yet, daytime is about drama, not eating chocolate while riding a unicorn around the grounds of Forrester Creations. Enter the soon-to-be Hope Spencer. Stage left. Thomas realized something after his father entered the multipurpose design room at FC. That came after Ridge Forrester heard a ruckus, which represented Thomas berating Brooke for marrying his dad for a 9th time. Not knowing if Thomas was back from Europe for good, and how the effect of his failed engagement to Paris Buckingham was impacting his mind, viewers were engaged. Was that outburst the start of another tale where Atkinson's character was descending and wouldn't pull out of revived mental health issues for months? No. Instead, within the same scene sequence, Thomas responded to Ridge's stern command and saw the soapy light. He embraced Brooke, who has been a good stepmother to him since he was a child. Hope never loved Thomas. That gut punch opener to this section was needed. It provides clarity and can set coming scenes. Thomas never liked Liam Spencer. As used to be true of Brooke, Thomas saw Liam as unworthy of his spouse. But Hope loves Liam and always has since they were first together. While it's true that Clifton's character treated her badly, his swap of her for Thomas's sister, the just-returned from Europe herself, Steffi Forrester Finnegan, created a natural rivalry. The disgust Thomas had for Liam was understandable because of Steffi and the feelings Atkinson's character developed for Hope. However, those feelings became warped, as the infamous mannequin tale proved. A natural revival of conflict is in place because of the remarriage proposal Hope accepted from Liam. It is important when a great actor returns to the cast of any soap opera. Such is the case with Atkinson, whose portrayal of Thomas has killed since he became the recast in 2019. Hopefully, Douglas Forrester returns with his dad. Samiri is one of the great child actors in this genre. As for Thomas, he is suddenly single and has been supplanted at Hope for the Future by Deacon Sharp, who is her new lead designer. That seemingly leaves one topic for Thomas to fixate on: Hope's reconciliation with Liam. Atkinson's return to the cast should see Thomas back in LA shortly. Major holidays are approaching, with plenty of dramatic opportunities ahead. The Bold and the Beautiful recap is finally in for Tuesday, October 28, 2025. In today's episode, Donna Logan Forrester makes a discovery. Deacon Sharp and Taylor Hayes continue getting closer. Also, Sheila Carter Sharp opens up to Lee Finnegan. Hope Logan, Liam Spencer, and Beth Spencer celebrate the engagement. The little girl can't wait for them to be a family again. Hope says they always have been, no matter if they are together or separated. Beth thinks this is the best day ever. Lope asks Beth to let the grown-ups share the news. The girl agrees, but mentions it will be hard to keep this quiet. At the office, Donna and Brooke Logan Forrester talk about how well Hope's line is doing. Katie Logan mentions that Hope's life is looking up. Hope texts Brooke and wants to meet ASAP. Katie practically shoves Brooke out the door, getting Donna's attention. The minute Brooke leaves, Donna gets Katie to spill the news. Brooke goes home and finds Lope together. Hope puts her hand on Liam's chest, showing off her ring. Brooke is overjoyed and congratulates them. Liam makes some promises, then Beth comes in to celebrate too. At therapy, Deacon does a role reversal and starts counseling Taylor. She let him hold on to her when his life was falling apart. Now he wants to return the favor. Taylor thinks Deacon is being sensitive and kind. They yap about Ridge Forrester and Brooke. Taylor bashes Brooke and wonders if she should have fought harder. Taylor cries and Deacon holds her. Then, they lock eyes. Sheila and Lee talk about how helping Luna Nozawa came at a high price for both of them. Sheila admits that she hasn't always been honest with Deacon. Lee assures her that everyone is flawed. Sheila claims she was just angry when she threatened to kill Taylor. She's just scared about her marriage. Lee has to leave for a consult, but assures her Taylor is not the enemy. The good doctor adds, "Far from it." Once Lee exists, Sheila sends a text message to Deacon professing her love, at the same time that Deacon and Taylor are locking eyes. So stay tuned. The Bold and the Beautiful, spoilers for Wednesday, October 29th, 2025, tease Hope and Deke getting serious with their father. Sheila has more things working against her than she knows. Deacon's dilemma. As Deacon Sharp grows closer to Taylor Hayes, Hope Logan and Deke Sharp worry that he will return to Sheila Carter. Both are still flabbergasted that their father actually married this woman, who has committed so many crimes and done so many deranged things through the decades. To that end, Deke and Hope decide to have a come-to-children moment with their father and tell him every reason why he should cut his losses and end his marriage. He can't trust Sheila, especially with how many times she has now hid the truth about Luna from him. Deacon is torn as he knows his kids are right, that what Sheila did is only proof that she will do the same things again. However, he loves her and can't get her out of his mind. Then again, things Taylor has said are resonating with Deacon, and he can't get the psychiatrist off his mind either. Deacon is one torn man, but will he make a decision with his head or with his heart? Liam Spencer is still in a state of shock that Hope didn't even hesitate and immediately said yes to his marriage proposal. He thought he would have to do a whole lot more work than that, considering that Hope was engaged to Carter Walton until quite recently. A thrilled Liam is just happy to have his life back and some hope for his future, both literally and figuratively. Just a few months ago, Liam truly believed he was dying, and now he has his entire life ahead of him with a family he can put back together. Liam shares his good news with his father. At least Dollar Bill Spencer has one son whose life is going right. If only he could solve Will's problems, which have all been caused by Luna Nozawa. The Bold and the Beautiful, spoilers for Wednesday, October 29th, reveal that Bill Spencer will get a shock while Deacon Sharp faces divorce pressure. Some happy news will spread while more romantic drama erupts, so here's what B&B fans can expect. For starters, Bill will get some exciting updates that leave him both stunned and elated. Although Bill knows Liam Spencer planned on fighting for his family's future, he'll still be pleasantly surprised to know he won that fight so quickly. Liam wasted no time in proposing to Hope Logan, who accepted his offer of marriage and apologized for taking his love for granted. Both Hope and Liam know they've fumbled their relationship in the past, but now they're committed to doing things right. Beth Spencer is ecstatic over her parents getting remarried, so Liam will spill everything to Bill on Wednesday's show. Bill will have a chance to react to the engagement and Liam's reunion dreams coming true, so he'll be thrilled for his son. Since Liam is looking forward to a new chapter with Hope, he might hint that Bill could fight for Katie Logan too. There may still be a chance for Katie and Bill's happy ending, but they have more Luna Nozawa messes to sort out first. Speaking of Luna, Deacon will continue to mull over the secrets Sheila Sharp kept regarding her granddaughter. Although Deacon still loves Sheila, it's been hard for him to get over her deception. Deacon has also been growing closer to Taylor Hayes through their therapy sessions, so he'll have their connection on his mind too. As for Hope and Deke Sharp, there'll be an anti-Sheila team on Wednesday's B&B episode. Deke and Hope will try to convince Deacon that divorce is the best path forward, so he'll listen to some Sheila trashing and face more pressure to cut her loose permanently. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say Sheila will keep hoping for reconciliation instead and will deliver another heartfelt plea to Deacon later this week. Bold and the Beautiful reveals Sheila Carter is very concerned about how close her husband is to his new therapist, Taylor Hayes. And she's been telling Lee Finnegan about it, who is Sheila's new best friend. We're going to talk about how and why Lee might tattle on Taylor to help save Sheila's marriage. Right now, Sheila thinks that there's a chance that Taylor could be a positive influence on Deacon Sharp. We heard her telling her only friend Lee that she's hopeful that Taylor could help save her marriage to Deacon. Recently, Sheila told Lee, "If anybody can get to Deacon's heart, it is Taylor." And she's not wrong. Sheila was spot on when she said Taylor could get to Deacon's heart, because it looks like she has. He's halfway in love with Taylor at this point, is what it looks like. Sheila told Lee that she was snooping, and she caught Deacon and Taylor in an embrace. Lee then asked Sheila if she's worried that Deacon is seeing another woman, and Sheila said if Deacon did cheat on her, it better not be with Taylor. That's when Sheila said if that happened, she'd kill Taylor. Since this is Sheila we're talking about, when she says she'd kill Taylor, that's not just an expression. That's not a metaphor or something. That's literal. We know 100% that Sheila would do it. Let's not forget she has killed before and has countless attempted murder charges as well. As a matter of fact, Sheila has actually killed Taylor before. Back in the Hunter Tylo days, Sheila shot her and she was presumed dead for years, but Prince Omar had secretly saved her. More recently, Sheila shot Finn when he shielded Steffi Forrester from Sheila's gun. She then fired again and hit Steffi once Finn was down and out of the way. So yeah, I have no problem believing that if Taylor gets close to Deacon, Sheila would target her with intent to kill. This week, Deacon is stating his intentions with Taylor. He has complimented her before, but on a recent episode, Deacon got Taylor to admit how awfully Ridge Forrester treated her and has for years, always making promises and then breaking them. By the look of things, Taylor may be starting to reciprocate Deacon's feelings for her. They're hugging again this week when Taylor is crying over her heartbreak, and she's back in Deacon's arms. Those are not appropriate boundaries for a psychiatrist and their patient. This week, Official Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say Taylor tries to use a more professional and clinical approach with Deacon. I think when they get too close, that near-kissing moment we've seen in the promo, Taylor may try and restructure the boundaries between her and Deacon because the lines do seem to be blurring. Of course, Taylor doesn't want to lose her job or her license as a psychiatrist, so she might try to keep herself in check and keep things professional with Deacon. I also think Taylor is scared of risking her heart again with Deacon not long after losing Ridge to Brooke Logan. However, I don't think Deacon's going to stop catching feelings for Taylor. This week, Deacon comforted her over all the Ridge stuff. Next week, who knows where Deacon and Taylor could be by then, because they're already coloring outside the lines. Meanwhile, Lee might go checking up on Taylor and Deacon to see if Sheila is right to be suspicious. If so, Lee might see Taylor in Deacon's arms, or might even see them kissing or nearly kissing after bonding over trying to save Luna Nozawa's life. Now that we have the two grandmas as friends, maybe Lee wants to protect Sheila's marriage, but also prevent her friend from doing something she can't take back, like murdering Taylor and ruining her life. I could see Lee going over there doing a little low-key stalking and checking up on Taylor, maybe even watching to see if she's doing something she should not be doing with Deacon. If Lee sees them getting way too close, she may take action. Lee might feel bad that Sheila's marriage is falling apart because Lee saved Luna, snuck her out of the hospital, and then Sheila wound up drawn into it. So, Lee and Sheila bonded over that. So Lee may decide to help Sheila. Lee may also have a more personal reason if she reports Taylor to the hospital board for being inappropriate with a patient. If you recall, maybe 2 years ago, we found out one of the reasons that Lee hates her sister Poppy Nozawa so much. Lee mentioned that she had gotten Poppy a job at University Hospital, and Poppy started a fling with a married doctor. Lee was absolutely outraged because I think the guy's wife also worked at the hospital. It was very messy, and Lee was really angry at Poppy because she thought this could have spilled over and ruined her medical career. I could see Lee having a grudge against a cheating doctor and a cheating man in general. That's something that might inspire Lee to report Taylor. I could see Lee viewing Taylor the same way she looked at Poppy, a desperate woman making moves on another woman's husband. Because no matter what, Deacon is married. This week, Sheila reaches out to Deacon again with another try to salvage their marriage. When Sheila is off looking for Deacon, she may go over to the hospital and may see him and Taylor in that almost kiss moment. If so, Sheila will be fuming. We do know that Lee has more scenes later this week, so Sheila may run to tell Lee what she saw. Or, the scenes could be Lee warning Taylor to back away from Deacon, or she will do something about it. Lee may just rat Taylor out to the board of the hospital without even warning her. She's worked there for years and knows exactly who to talk to about this issue. That way, Lee can help keep Taylor away from Sheila's husband and make sure that Lee's one and only friend, Sheila, doesn't go killing anybody. I also know there are spoilers about Deacon having Thanksgiving dinner with Sheila, but that does not mean he and Taylor aren't going to wind up together. It could be that Lee chews out Taylor, she puts up some boundaries with Deacon, and then after Thanksgiving, Maybe he quits using Taylor as a therapist so that he can pursue her romantically and Lee can't report her to the board. We'll see. But that also means Sheila may still try and kill Taylor. I'm intrigued by Deacon and Taylor, and I'm curious to see how Lee may fit into this story. The bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal that non-fans of the waffling triangle involving Hope Logan, Liam Spencer, and Steffi Forrester are in luck, for the time being anyway. Steffi and Hope wasted too many years fighting over Liam, who happily ping-ponged between them both. What has changed to dilute this dynamic? Scott Clifton talked to Daytime Confidential while on the red carpet at the Daytime Emmys, and he shed some light on this situation. Let's dive into the messy history and find out. When John Finn Finnegan burst on the scene, he was brought on as a love interest for Steffi. They've had a few roadblocks along the way, with Liam always ready to catch her if she falls away from Finn. The bond between Liam and Steffi remains as they are co-parents of Kelly Spencer and love spending time together as a family. But recent events have brought Lope closer, and fans are wondering what their next step is. Is it possible they reunite as a family or even marry again? According to Clifton, obviously you can tell that they're heading in that direction. They're finding their way back to each other, and I really hope, and I think I even believe, that it'll stick this time, at least for some non-trivial amount of time. Fans have become used to Liam's waffling between Steffi and Hope, but this time may be different. For one thing, Steffi seems amazingly happy with Finn, who has what it takes to keep her interest. Based on what Clifton said about Lope, it sounds as if the star-crossed couple may enjoy a period of uninterrupted bliss for the near future, maybe even remarriage. Clifton also referenced the lessons learned by both characters and the growth they've achieved over time. Liam's fake brain tumor was a flashpoint for Liam and Hope, and they appear ready to settle down and raise Beth Spencer together. The bold and the beautiful spoilers hint that Beth could play a key part in her parents' reunion, and you don't want to miss a minute of the cuteness about to unfold as Hope and Liam remember what's really important in life. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with the bold and the beautiful right now. Come back here often for the hottest B&B updates, news, and spoilers. Get comfortable and gain access to the best soap intel on the web. The bold and the beautiful spoilers are in for Wednesday, October 29th, 25. In the next episode, fans can expect Bill Spencer to make a happy discovery. Meanwhile, Hope Logan and Deke Sharp pressure Deacon Sharp to dump Sheila Carter Sharp. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Let's start with Liam Spencer, who just proposed to Hope again. This time, Hope is single and has been thinking about her life with Liam and Beth Spencer. Now that Carter Walton has moved on and Liam is no longer dying, there has been a marriage proposal. Hope instantly accepted the marriage proposal. Now, Liam and Hope will be sharing the news with everyone. While Hope meets up with Brooke Logan Forrester, Liam will give his father an update. Bill will be overjoyed that Liam has gotten his family back. However, just how long will this Lope reunion last before something happens? Hope and Liam don't have a very good track record. The bold and the beautiful spoilers for Wednesday, October 29th, reveal that Deacon isn't sure what to do. One part of him wonders if he's supposed to be with Sheila. However, the other part of him wants something new with Taylor Hayes. Sheila did tell Lee Finnegan that she would kill Taylor, but later claimed it was out of anger. So, when Sheila finds out that Deacon is moving on with Taylor, how will the reformed villain react? Sure, she's reformed, but it was Deacon's love that helped with that. If she loses the only person in her corner, then I worry that Sheila could go back to her old ways. Tomorrow's episode will also feature Deke and Hope talking to Deacon. The siblings will join forces to convince Deacon to dump Sheila. However, it's not that easy and really needs to be Deacon's decision. I worry that Deacon could cave under the pressure and later realize Sheila was his person. Taylor is okay, I guess, but I don't see any sizzle with them. I guess time will tell, so fans will just have to stay tuned. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most on Wednesday, October 29th, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. On the Tuesday, October 28th, 2025, episode of The Bold and the Beautiful, Hope and Liam spread the news of their engagement. Sheila stewed over Taylor, and Deacon and Taylor teetered more on the edge of temptation. Brooke and Donna looked over the press release about Hope for the Future's revival, and Katie remarked that they should be. Brooke didn't want Hope to let work consume her, but Katie assured her sister that Hope's personal life was just fine. They went on and on about how incredible a Hope and Liam reunion would be, but Hope interrupted with a text and requested Brooke's presence at home. Donna couldn't believe how Katie ushered Brooke out of the office, and she asked what she knew that nobody else was clued in on. Katie's face gave it away, so keeping it a secret was a moot point. Katie motioned to her ring finger, and Donna was overcome with excitement for her niece. Hope and Liam celebrated their engagement with Beth, and everyone was overjoyed at the news. Nobody was happier than Beth, who finally had her parents back together. Liam explained to Beth that nobody else knew about the engagement besides Katie, so they needed her to let them spread the news. Hope was thrilled to remarry Liam, and it was more special this time because she believed any chance of reconciliation was behind them. Hope recognized the caring and considerate man that Liam was, and she admitted to taking his love for granted in the past. Like he did during his proposal, she apologized for past mistakes in the previous iterations of their relationship. She told him, "I'm sorry it took almost losing you to realize that I want to spend the rest of my life with you. I don't want to spend any time apart. I love you, and I love our family, and you are my heart. You are my home. You always will be." Brooke returned home, and she was concerned that something might have happened to Beth. Liam vowed that everything was great and not to worry. Hope gave her mother a speech about how much she knew she loved her, even when she strayed away from her typical path. Liam promised he wasn't going anywhere again, and Hope confirmed, flashing the engagement ring at her mother. Nobody was happier for the newly engaged couple than Brooke, who nearly shook with joy. Liam explained how much Hope meant to him, and he apologized for his previous behavior. But his newfound clarity put everything into perspective. Beth quickly emerged to join the family celebration, again ecstatic to have her parents back together as a loving unit. Sheila was still stunned that Lee was still allowed to practice medicine. Sheila was upset that Luna wreaked havoc across everyone's lives after she was given a second chance. Despite Luna, she blamed herself for the state of her marriage. Although Sheila wanted Deacon to return home, it needed to be of his own accord. Lee thought Sheila should remain hopeful because Deacon hadn't officially cut off the marriage. Sheila wanted to rewind time and bring back how things used to be, and she didn't want Lee to rub in the facts and make things worse. Sheila expressed amazement at how she and Lee had formed a bond over their actions regarding Luna. Lee admitted how much Sheila had changed, so all hope was not lost. Sheila didn't consider herself that woman after she betrayed Deacon. Lee understood that Sheila wanted her husband to come home, but her previous comments made her uneasy. She asked Sheila if she was being serious when she threatened to kill Taylor if she and Deacon got close. Sheila felt judged by Lee, asking her about the threats of violence, and she completely lost it with her. She was tired of being treated like she was crazy, and she felt like Deacon was giving up on her as a real possibility. Sheila needed Taylor to be an advocate for her marriage and push him to work through things. Before she left, Lee cautioned Sheila not to view Taylor as the enemy. Still, Sheila couldn't help but obsess over her husband spilling his guts alone in a room with the good doctor. Deacon hadn't answered any of Sheila's texts, which only left her more unsettled. A desperate Sheila left to her own devices is the most dangerous version, so Taylor was potentially in harm's way. Deacon related to Taylor's heartbreak, and he encouraged her to open up to him. He admitted it wasn't the most conventional thing to do, but they had a lot of parallels because of Ridge's waffling between her and Brooke. He called the two of them survivors, and the ordeal with Sheila had been a total kick in the gut. He needed to find someone to connect to, and Taylor served that role. However, he felt she yearned for the same type of connection. As Deacon's therapist, Taylor was apprehensive about opening up to her client. Deacon tightly held her hand, and he confessed to how much he cared about her. He blasted Ridge again, but she also blamed Brooke. She said, "She's been relentless, undermining my happiness with Ridge. Through the years, undermining our family. Time and time again. Doing whatever it took to get him back. And I fought, but I couldn't go to the lengths that she did. I couldn't compromise myself and my principles like she did. Taylor thought being a decent person would pay off for her in the end, but being a rule follower hadn't gotten her anywhere. She brought up Brooke using her sexuality to get men into bed, which got her everything she ever wanted. Taylor had trouble understanding why everyone couldn't see Brooke for the woman she was, since she and Stephanie always pegged her. Deacon brought Taylor in for a third embrace, but this time, a teary-eyed Taylor locked eyes with her patient, and it looked as if they were about to share a forbidden kiss.